More on Composition by Doris Charest. We're actually going to test out different compositions here and just examine how composition actually works. So we'll start by painting small circles with my stick and creating an all-over pattern. So this is one way to practice your compositions. You can just take any drawing material and then draw it out. Here we're going to add on top of that all-over composition one larger shape. So this is one way to create a composition. Small elements and then bigger shape. Here's another way to create a composition. This is called the grid composition. So I'm going to use squares in this case. Even if it's called grid composition, you can add circles, triangles. I'm going to have one square that's sort of grayish in color. So those lines maybe indicate a pattern or a gray. I'm going to add another rectangle here, and I'm going to keep adding rectangles. So this texture will be different here. Remember that some textures cause the piece next to it to jump out and others cause it to recede. You really have to plan this part and play with it when you are adding to it. So this one will be just one plain color. So here I have a lot of variety in my squares. Add another color, maybe a different one. And within my large square, I'm going to add a smaller square. And it's a little hard to draw with this stick, but I really do like it. It's more interesting when I'm actually doing regular drawing. So you have one small square against a larger white square, and then textured ones or different colored ones in the background. So that's one type of composition. This is called the grid composition. Let's have a look at the next one. Here we're going to paint, so we're going to just add like that, just repeated shapes. So we're going to repeat the shapes and have an all-over pattern. We're going to actually just keep adding that shape. And then how do you create something that's different? So that's the question. So here I add a different value. So I have a lighter area. I could have a darker area. There are lots of options. That's one way to create an interesting composition. So here it's even lighter, so it shows more. So that's a fun way to create a composition. Very easy too. Here's another way to create a composition. Again, we'll use a brush and just use marks to make it faster and for you to get the right idea. We're just going to create an all-over composition and just keep adding and leave one area that is a little more open. In this area, we add a different color. We add a complementary color. So you have a reddish color on the color wheel. On the opposite side, you have blue. So that's another way to create a focal point when you're doing composition. So you create something where the focus is a complementary color. Let's have a look at the next. For this last composition, we're going to just use a brush again and we'll make marks. Again, creating that all over pattern and just to make it quicker. When you're planning your painting, these are all ideas that you can look at. You can choose complementary colors, you can choose different shapes, and this is just to give you an idea of all the different things you can do when you're planning your painting. You want to create something where your focal point is outstanding. So here I have a lighter value. So I have the same shade, but a lighter value. So you could do that in your painting too. So have fun playing with these, and we'll see you in the next section.